Hi, Lindsay. I'm wondering if we can talk about that first gateway course really into counselling studies and the course that you have devised called the Introduction to Counselling Skills, Studies and Personal Development, which sounds like a lot, but it sounds rich as well.
Yeah, it does sound like a lot. But I
Yeah,
think, it's a reflection of level 2 and level 3 is a lot in relation to preparing and building yourself and getting ready for level 4. The traditional route is you do this level 2 and you do the level 3, and you can change providers to do that. Some providers you can do a level 2 online since COVID even now. And then do a level 3 in person, and even level 3s online. There's lots of different ways of getting that foundation knowledge and building that foundation. So my thought was to integrate what we do at Training for Counsellors, which is really lean into that smaller cohort, experiential creative learning, because level 2 and level 3 is very much an information fed course. It can be in the main. With a slight introduction to doing practice skills and what that might look like. I kind of want to flip it on its head and kind of bottom up that learning and get a real hands-on feel, like what does it feel to be in the counselling seat, and
yeah,
start to get comfortable with that, because at level 4 you're being assessed on that. So a
yeah,
level 4 sometimes can feel like quite a lot in the early days, like tutor eyes are on, peer eyes are on me, and I'm being assessed for my fitness to practice, which we'll talk about when we talk about level 4. So it's really kind of homing the skill and normalizing this feeling. So by the time you reach level 4, it's not this all brand new experience around the skills. And that's exactly what came up for me around the PD. So what I wanted to do for the personal development is introduce that really right from day one, when we step into that wanting to be into a counsellor. So traditionally a level 2 would give you a qualification that you can use as a bridging into, say, nursing, or kind of early help, social work, etc., because it kind of builds your enhanced listening skills.
yeah,
Whereas this course is integrated into a prerequisite for level 4. So it's very
yeah,
clear that this course is designed to get you ready for level 4. It will cover all the traditional level 2, level 3 kind of curriculum, but it will get you ready in an embodiment way, ready for level 4. And I think that's the difference. So it's like an amalgamation with a bit more, and a bit of this, and a bit of
yeah,
me there, and a bit of
yeah.
us as a training organisation.
And I love the fact that, this is the level where, yes, let's get into that, because if we can get into that soon, we can really focus in the level 4 on, right, okay, so how do we be a counsellor now? Because we've got those fundamental things in place.
Yeah. My hope is that everything after that is building on top of, because
Yeah,
sometimes what happens is students can come into a level 4 and they haven't had that piece of work, and it can feel quite daunting and overwhelming. And
yeah,
sometimes it can make big wobbles happen, like, oh, what's this that I'm experiencing? Well, I'm being asked to, almost look into the deeper parts of myself that I wasn't prepared to do, or wasn't sure I was going to be doing. So I find this course will introduce people into that in a much more gentler way as well. So
mm-hmm.
it becomes a normal way of learning by the time you reach your level 4. And that the course as well is designed to run over, an academic term. So it runs from September into the late term of the following year, so breaking for summer. And it's a good way as well to get into that way of learning, particularly for those students that want to stay in those smaller cohorts and that creative experiential learning way. Because when you start at level 4, you're trying to take so much on
Yeah,
all at once, and it's like there's so much happening. I feel like it's a really good feeder course into a level 4 that is designed to not only just prepare you cognitively through theory and skill, but also to prepare your body for what's happening when you're learning as well, and how you learn and start to understand yourself a bit better.
yeah. You've said a couple of times about the small groups and how, we pride ourselves on small groups. I wonder if you want to say something about why that's been so important to us.
Yeah, I think, and it's really interesting, because I wonder if our experiences have shaped that potentially through our own training, as in training when we were training to be counsellors. I know that, so the study groups that I were in started, you know, in the 30s at level 3, at level 2 and 3, and as the year,
30 people.
yeah, in the 30s, yeah, and ended up like dwindling down to like 6, I think, that were left of us by level 6.
Yeah.
And that was, and I think, you know, the richness that comes from that small cohort, the discussions are able to go to deeper levels and wider levels. And there's so much learning in that. There's so much learning in that context that you can't learn from a PowerPoint and you can't learn from a book.
Yeah.
And for me, that's why that feels
the course,
important.
then. So you were saying that it runs over an academic year?
Yeah. So we're looking at September start. It's Wednesday evening that we're going to be running the course. So we've set it up for evening to kind of work around that adult learner again, because a lot of adult learners tend to be in some form of employment or have some form of childcare commitments or etc. So yeah, it's trying to make it so it's accessible at the same time. So yeah, looking at a Wednesday evening starting in September, and it'll be running through to like the spring summer term, the end of the spring, beginning of the summer term the following year. Yeah,
lovely. Thank you. Is there anything else that you would like to say about the course?
Yeah, I think it's unique in its approach. So it's not something I've come across that's out there. There's still very much the separation between level 2 and level 3, and I think that's because level 2 can be transferred into other helping professions.
Yeah.
But those skills are so vital to level 4. It's like for me that felt a bit disjointed, so I wanted a way to kind of sew that together and bring that all together, and then give it a massive big hug of personal development around it. I think is literally what I've created to do. Yeah. But, yeah.